Good morning and welcome to Bay Area Focus. I'm your host, Michelle Griego. We'd love to hear some show ideas, so please visit us at facebook.com/Bay Area Focus and comment to the page. Coming up in today's show, we have an organization using a unique approach to create awareness for breast cancer. We have an author of a popular book series and a museum celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Black Panthers. But up first, from Bay Area Young Survivors, our president, Megan Campbell, and board member, Kathryns Williams. Thanks, ladies, for coming on the show. So tell me about Bay Area Young Survivors. You call it B.A.Y.S for short, right?
Yes. So B.A.Y.S is a nonprofit. We're all volunteer, and our mission is to serve young women diagnosed with breast cancer in the Bay Area before the age of 45.
Okay, so young women, you're saying before the age of 45. How long has this been around?
We were founded in 2003 by two women who met in the infusion center while they were receiving chemotherapy, and they realized they're both young, and young women face really unique set of issues when they're diagnosed with breast cancer. Their names Angela Padilla and Deb Mosley, and they found a lot of other young women throughout the Bay Area, and the word about B.A.Y.S spread like wildfire, and has grown to over 450 members since 2003.
Wow. So what are some of the services B.A.Y.S provides?
We have three main areas of services. The first, we provide monthly support groups, and they have free childcare and food. The second is monthly social and educational events that really try and address some of the issues that young women face with breast cancer, whether that's sexuality after cancer and chemotherapy, or how to exercise after breast surgery. And then the third area of service that we offer is an online community. It's quite vibrant, and a place for women to ask all sorts of questions about side effects and treatment and medical care teams, and then just receive support from each other.
You talked about young women having these unique challenges when it comes to breast cancer. What's different with young women and breast cancer than the older women?
When young women are diagnosed with breast cancer, they're often premenopausal, and they're launching their careers, they're dating, they might be single, they might have young children, and that's very different than having a grandmother diagnosed with breast cancer. So trying to figure out ways for young women to juggle all of those things while sitting in the infusion center and receiving chemotherapy, it's quite tough.
Catherine, talk about your experience. You're a board member, but you were also diagnosed
Correct.
At the age of
40, yeah. So I'm actually, another service that B.A.Y.S provides is we have an offshoot group called Mets in the City, and it's actually specifically for the women in the group who are have metastatic breast cancer. So metastatic breast cancer is when the cancer originates in the breast and it travels outside of the breast to an organ. Typically in breast cancer, it's liver, lungs, brain, and bone. And so approximately 20 to 30% of all breast cancer diagnoses will eventually metastasize, and it's not curable. So we have another subset group for Mets in the City, and we also meet and offer support to one another. We have an online group as well for that group. And there's approximately 40 people in that group right now out of the 475 for B.A.Y.S. So that's kind of how I got involved. I was actually diagnosed from the very beginning, stage 4, when I had my first mammogram at 40, which is pretty common because younger women just aren't diagnosed because we don't get the mammograms, and so that's unfortunate, but that's what happened. In about 6 to 10% of those people of all breast cancer diagnoses are originally stage 4.
What age should women start getting mammograms?
So this is a really important question. There's different sets of guidelines, and since we're not a medical advice group, we're not going to wade into those. But what we do know is that the screening suggests that women should get their first mammogram at the age of 40. We know that mammograms often don't pick up cancers in younger women because we have dense breasts. So we really advocate for better screening tools for younger women that are more appropriate for what's going on with our bodies.
Catherine, give us an idea of what that's like. You're in the doctor's office and you get that diagnosis.
Wow. It's pretty life-changing, as you can imagine. But I think the first thing that I thought of was that I just really didn't want this to happen to anyone else, and that I really think it's important for women, but young women especially, to know their own bodies and be their own healthcare advocate. We have to be a member of our healthcare team. We have to be present at every meeting that we have with our healthcare team, whether we have cancer or not. No matter what kind of issues we have to, write down what's going on with us. Go with that list to our meeting. Maybe bring someone with you so you can have someone there as support. It's just really important to know your own body, and if you do feel a change, to be really adamant that this is not right, I know my body, and this is what we need to do to fix it. And hopefully, people will save themselves a little earlier with that.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Tell me about that. What does that mean to you and your members?
So October is a tough month for our members because it's a reminder of the disease and what they're going through. It's also difficult because the statistics around the incidences of breast cancer, that rate is actually going up. It used to be 1 in 20 women getting breast cancer, now it's 1 in 8. And so we know that awareness doesn't quite do enough. Slapping a pink ribbon on something doesn't necessarily translate into research dollars for a cure, or research dollars for prevention of the disease, or research dollars for better and more humane, less toxic treatments. So while we're happy to be here and celebrating October and that people are more aware of breast cancer, we really encourage the community to go further.
Well, I thank you ladies for coming on the show and telling us about your experience and B.A.Y.S. and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you so much. And for more information on Bay Area young survivors, please log on to baysnet.org. Again, that's baysnet.org. Coming up, an organization using license plates to raise awareness for breast cancer. We'll be right back.